Family and friends, welcome back to the channel. This one's going to be difficult for me because I always say I never give advice, and I'm not doing so now. But a couple things that I did that I'm really glad that I did, and I just want to share it with you. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm grateful that I did these things before I left the U.S. So I just want to share it with you. Am I telling you what to do? No. What I am asking you to do is please study it. Study not through me, but Google what I'm going to tell you about, okay? I wrote down some things because a lot of times I'll do a video and I'll go, I forgot to say this, so bear with me, so please forgive me, okay? So what I did is, one of the things I signed up for was going to be controversial because I've heard some nightmare stories. Google Voice. Now Google Voice is free and you have to have a Wi-Fi for it to work, okay? Now, where some people fail, because a lot of times you got to do your banks, and your banks will send you stuff, and hey, was this you? And you got to verify that verification, and if you miss it, you can be locked out of your bank accounts. So the thing is, I've had people tell me how to cure that problem, and it's in your settings, okay? So once you get Google Voice in the settings, forward messages to my email. Yes, if there's a message coming, I not only want it in a text message, I want it sent to my email. And also, one of the keys is that when you go down, now I'm using an Android phone. I don't have an Apple. I've never owned Apple. Apple's a great product. I've just never owned it, so the wording might be a little bit different. But for Android, making and receiving calls, this is inside your Google Voice settings, okay? When you click on it, mine was set, I think generically, it's just gonna be set for use carrier only. Google Voice calls will use phone's carrier minutes instead of Wi-Fi. Now, no, because I'm overseas, so you got to change that. The other setting is prefer Wi-Fi and mobile data. Okay, so I clicked it to that settings. That's a biggie. Now, a lot of places like AT&T, T-Mobile, they'll have overseas plans. So just take the overseas plan. The problem is it's only good for 3 months. Okay, and after 3 months, they'll cut you off. Okay, so we've gone over the settings. So the settings for Google Voice, I set it to get email alerts for missed calls. Okay. Also go for Wi-Fi settings. Get voice emails also sent to my email. Okay. Now I set it up in the banks. When you go to your banks, I'm banking through Bank of America as well as Charles Schwab. So your contact information, I set it up for my Google Voice, but I also put primary contact, if you can, your email, okay? So no matter what, they're gonna send it to both. I got it set up that way. I'm asking you to please do so, okay? I know I already said I don't like to tell people what to do. Okay, get your email alerts for missed calls, get your voice email. Now we're gonna talk about eSIMs, or an eSIM, versus a hard SIM. When you come to different countries, I'm going to use Albania as an example. You can get a SIM card, an actual SIM card injected into your phone. So now you got service that you bought minutes for. The thing is, they give you an Albanian phone number. Now, how is the Bank of America going to reach that, or Charles Schwab, to verify it's me? I'm sure I could change that number. Now we're talking about a 10-digit number. So what I did was I went with an eSIM. Now instead of that being a hard card that they put in, it's a company. There's a couple of different companies out there. And electronically, you go by an eSIM number and you're allowed to keep your American phone number. And that's what I did. What I did was on my wife's phone, we went with inject the actual SIM card. On my phone, I'm going eSIM. So hers is a SIM card, mine's an eSIM. So we have both. Okay, so we're testing to see which one we like. If I'm doing any type of business or any transactions in Albania, we're using her Albanian phone number. Banking, family back home, I'm using the eSIM because that way I can retain the American number. Okay. Now the other thing I want you to, the other thing I did, make sure your phone can take an eSIM. Not all phones can. A lot of new ones now are, but I had a phone that wasn't that old at all. But it could not take an eSIM. So I had to get rid of that phone and pick up a new phone. And it was really the best thing I ever did. So far, if I had to pick between eSIM and a SIM card, which one would I choose? I'm thrilled that we have both. But if I was traveling alone and I only got one phone, I'd pick eSIM all the way. All the way. Easiest way to go. There's actually no hardware to plug in. It seems very affordable. I've only used it for a couple weeks. But if I had to pick, and I'm thrilled that I did, it's worked really well for me using an eSIM, okay? eSIM cards. Make sure your phone can do it. The other thing you got to do on your phone, make sure it's unlocked. If you don't know what unlocked is, let's say you're using Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and you buy your phone from them, it's locked. Locked means you can only use their phone or the phone that you have with them. You can't go elsewhere with it. Now, typically 4 to 6 months, you can request your phone to be unlocked, okay? Or you can just buy a phone from a phone place that's not associated with any carrier, which is what I did, okay? But make sure your phone's unlocked. Please study eSIM, guys. Not for me. Go to Google, study it. What I'm afraid of is people are going to start, asking me questions about it. Look, you can do much better with information by going to Google or any other place and read up on it, guys. But for me, thank goodness I went with eSIM. eSIM works great. I had to get a different phone to make sure, and the settings got to be right, and I have not had a problem. Also, because the settings it pops up on my computer when I'm on my laptop, through my email. Now, I want to talk to you also about 2 apps that have been worth gold to me, okay? One of which is WhatsApp, okay? I was having trouble using voice to call my wife's Albanian number because she's got that hard SIM card. So we both were using WhatsApp. By playing with it, because I wasn't, I'm still new to WhatsApp, but now I can make phone calls to my wife through WhatsApp. So it's not just text messaging, which is worldwide. You can talk to anybody. WhatsApp's a wonderful app. It's free, but that is worth its weight in gold. My landlord contacts me through WhatsApp. The people I use to do the paperwork, the realtor company, they did all the documents for me for renting this place. They're on WhatsApp. They've been checking up on me, making sure I'm okay. The other app that I think is worth its weight in gold is Google Translate. What's good is before you come, translate, when you go to it, it's going to ask you what countries. And I put Albania and Italy because I was going to be in Italy for 3 days and then Albania. And it downloads their language onto your phone. Now, the reason that's important, because Google Translate does use Wi-Fi. And then I can actually say the word like, how do you say hello? And it'll come out in their language. And you can hit the microphone button. It'll say, how do you say hello? It'll repeat their words, but in their language. Now, if you don't have Wi-Fi, it still works, but you're not going to get that voice to voice. I can text in my message and show it to them. Like, where's the grocery store? Or I type it in, where's the grocery store? Boom, and that's it. So those 2 apps have been just, I consider them vital. I downloaded those right before I came. Google Voice, you can also keep your same phone number if you want, but you got to do that before you come. I didn't. I just went with the new Google Voice number. Still has the same area code that I was in Fort Worth. And I set up my bank accounts online to contact that number, and my primary source of contact is my email. It's worked great for me, guys. I've heard horror stories about sometimes voice works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm telling you, it's in the settings. That's what I was told. They changed those settings. It's working good. So I hope that's doing all right. Oh, the last thing I want to touch base with you on, if you're renting, like I went into the realtor's office, what do they charge? For doing the paperwork and everything. Whatever your rent is, let's say your rent is going to be $500 a month. Cut that in half and you owe them $250, a one-time fee. Okay? So my rent here is just over $400 US, so they wanted $200, one-time fee. If you rent a place that costs you $1,000 per month, you got to pay them $500, a one-time fee. And they've been great. They actually walked me down to get internet. I'll talk about that in a different podcast. But I wanted to touch base with you on that because I've talked to a few people that are on the way or close, a month away, 2 months away. Can't wait to meet you. But I wanted to tell you a couple things that I did, and I'm so glad that I did. Okay? Please study, guys, okay? Remember, I love you guys. Can't wait to see you. I got another video, but I wanted to put this up first. I'm really glad I did the esim. I'm going to put down the company that I'm using. They don't know me. I'm not getting nothing from them. But I'm going to put down my esim company in the description, okay? All right, talk to you all later. Remember, I love you. All right, bye-bye.